Breaking right now, she's done it again. Desperate to try and distract from Prince Harry's despicable interview and the fact that Prince William has responded to that interview by saying over my dead body in terms of reconciliation, here is...
Royal biographer Angela Levin just dropped a scathing takedown, calling Meghan Markle's latest move with Archie, well, despicable, and exposing Prince Harry's stunning hypocrisy. From the pyjamas stunt to their endless media contradictions, Levin is calling it what many have been thinking, a carefully staged, manipulative PR game.
The new picture of Prince Archie in his pyjamas, a highly personal shot. Oh, but of course we're not allowed to see his face, to celebrate his 6th birthday, a 6th birthday that Prince Harry will not even be there for, given he's decided to jet off to Las Vegas, which I think says something about his parenting priorities. Meghan posted on Instagram, our son, S-O-N, our son, S-U-N. Happy 6th birthday to Archie. Thank you for all of the love and warm wishes, our sweet boy. He's 6. Where did the time go? And for all of you who came to celebrate with us at his party last weekend, thank you for making his birthday so incredibly special. And there we go, Angela. The woman who claims not to look at any of the media is, of course, making it clear, oh, we celebrated last weekend. It's not a big deal that Prince Harry has decided to go back to the scene of the crime, Las Vegas, rather than be with his son on his birthday, because don't worry, we had the party last week. Angela, how transparent is she, and how wrong is it that yet again she is using her child, who she claims to want to protect from social media, on social media to escape from the furore over Harry's disastrous BBC interview?
Well, I find it very odd to think that they did it last week when Harry was in such a mess. I mean, this is a celebration, isn't it? Your son is 6. It's fantastic. And yet, he must have been beside himself, not knowing what he's saying, not what he's doing, anything. I mean, that seems very, very strange to me that would be the time you would do it, or Harry wouldn't respond to that and behave in a happy way. Secondly, I think putting him in pajamas at 6 is not very appealing and completely unnecessary, because he's not in his bedroom. He's out looking at the sun, and he looks a bit sort of Jesus-like, with the sun around him, as if he's extremely special, and aren't we all lucky that he's in this world? Well, certainly, very pleased. Thank you very much. But, it's not the right way to have him in his pajamas there, because he looks ridiculous at 6. Why isn't he dressed properly?
But also, Angela, it goes totally against everything they say about wanting to protect children from social media.
Hit subscribe if you're tired of the fakery and spin and ready for real royal truth. It started with a video clip of Meghan reading to Archie in his pyjamas. Part of a charity video, yes, but critics say it was pure optics over authenticity.
So she is a total hypocrite, and Harry is clearly completely unhappy, but knows he just has to go along with this rubbish.
Well, when he was asked about this just a few weeks ago, he said, no, it's fine if Meghan does it. It's different if she uses social media. It's really funny. It's the same as with plaids, isn't it? The hypocrisy is beyond measure. And so they asked him again about the children, and he said, well, she's not a child, and they're too young to notice anything about it. But actually, I think if you have a child who's 6, they're going to know a lot about social message, because they watch that. He watches mother, because if she wants him there, and he sees what she's doing, and he'll want to do the same thing. So how can you say that that's right? I mean, they are terrible liars, and they don't actually follow the line that they're taking. They never do. They start like that, and then it's all gone, and they expect you to wipe it from your brain and to see something clear. But she shouldn't keep on trying to make something else that's very important and serious nothing, because her son is more important, if it is indeed her son. And I just think that she's not sharing anything in the world, is she? She's making all the decisions herself, and every single one comes to nothing because she's got such a peculiar way of wanting to live.
Well,
Makes
and
no
Angela,
sense.
what she's doing is she's turning the children into business tools. Now, as we
Yes.
just saw, we have seen their faces before. So why all of a sudden, now that they are on social media all of the time, are you not showing their faces? And also, as you say, we can see the photoshopping. We can see the fact that the heights keep changing. We can see the fact that the hair goes from one color to another. So at the very least, Angela, I think we can say that these are photos which are highly manipulated and very dishonest. But the point is, there's just a huge hypocrisy around the whole thing. And
Yeah.
really, Angela, this. Sorry, you come in.
No, absolutely. I think they can't be straightforward with anything that happens. There's a lie there, there's a hypocrisy there. And they do actually believe that we must behave in a certain way, but they don't have to. Certainly not Meghan, who is the most global, amazing person you could ever meet. So she doesn't have to be like that. But the rest of the world, we're all nothing, and we can't take
Yeah.
a
And
plane
Angela,
or do.
if Harry really prioritizes parenting in the way that he claims, there's
Nobody
two
does.
things he would do. Firstly, he would say, "You're not putting my children on social media because I'll look like a complete hypocrite given I'm going around saying that social media are death fields, are killing fields. So you're just not going to do it, Meghan. Sorry. You're not going to punt out my children to sell your scam jam." That's the first thing. And the second thing is, Angela, he wouldn't be jetting off to Las Vegas for Archie's actual birthday, would he? I mean, this does show that his priorities, despite everything they say, are not parenting. And it does, unfortunately, seem, Angela, he'll almost do anything to escape being around Meghan.
Angela Levin ripped into it, saying, "If you really care about your child's privacy, you don't parade him around in staged bedtime videos for global press." And, let's not forget, this came from the same couple who've demanded privacy, yet constantly invite cameras into their family life.
Yes, actually, the thing is that at Las Vegas is for Diana
The
and
Diana
to
Award, yes.
the Diana Award.
But
And there's
apparently
two.
he didn't have to be on today.
No, he was offered if he wanted to go on the 4th or the 8th because it was his son's birthday on the 6th. And he didn't want to change it. So, I mean, this is more examples of he doesn't know where he is, what he's doing, or what's important to him. He's just a terrible, terrible mess.
Well, he is, Angela. And I want to show you this juxtaposition that Paula M put together. And I think she's making a very good point because we'll come to Meghan's new podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, in a moment. And of course, Angela, everything with Meghan at the moment is my life is wonderful. I'm in the best position I've ever been in. Harry is a broken, devastated man. Even if you have no sympathy for him, which I don't, you can see that he is a broken man. And look at this
Yes.
juxtaposition that Paula M put together.
But I think a confession for you today that I could very comfortably say is I'm the happiest that I've ever been.
Yeah, no, I'm devastated. I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight.
And Angela, you're Prince Harry's biographer. You spent a great deal of time with him just before he met Meghan, but also when he first met Meghan. You've looked at this interview and you say that you believe he's now obviously unwell.
Yes, he is obviously unwell. He's unrecognizable, actually,
Wow.
because he actually thought a lot about other people. He was very good about other people. Small children who were living in poverty, soldiers who'd been badly damaged, and he would ask them questions, and they would answer him in a way that's extraordinary. And I would go back to them and say to them, how has he helped you in any way? And he said, and several of them said, he's given me the feeling that I want to live, because I'd been in a room when it's dark because I couldn't face the world in such a different way. So that was what they felt about him, and they respected him enormously. But along comes this powerful, spiteful, controlling woman, and she destroys it. And he's obviously very vulnerable about her leaving him, and he's scared of her because if she does go, or if she pushes him out, all his family are going to say, "We told you," or "You should have listened to us." Or perhaps they won't, because they're going to be very kind. But one minute she's kissing him in front of thousands of people at the Invictus Games. Another minute she's screaming at him that he has to get out and not come back for weeks. So it's very hard. I don't understand why he still cares about her, because he should actually fight back.
But he's trapped, isn't he, Angela? He has nothing else. I mean, this is the problem. And this is what a manipulator does. And Harry was very stupid to allow her to do it. But he has completely marginalized him. He is ostracized now, Angela, from his old friends, from his former staff members, from the equerries that were always there for him, for the courtiers who were always there for him, for his old friends from school, from his polo buddies, from his army buddies. Totally ostracized. That's before you get to his blood relatives, barring the Spencer family, who I think have a different motivation. But Angela, there's actually more of it today. More of it, can you believe, from Meghan Markle. More me. It's all about me. I'm the greatest woman in the world. In this new episode of Confessions of a Female Founder, which, as ever, I've listened to, so you folks don't have to. And this is with a woman called Hannah Mendoza. Very interesting woman. Now, she is British, but she left the UK. Does this sound familiar, Angela? She left the UK because everyone here is just so awful and really, emotionally buttoned up. And she wanted to get to California to be with her people. And she launched this brand called Clever Blends, and there's some pictures actually that has been posted on the Clever Blends website of Meghan with the products and of Meghan with Hannah Mendoza and also of Oprah really pushing these projects. But what we didn't know is how Meghan actually ended up becoming involved with Clever Blends.
When it suits their narrative. Levin called it emotional manipulation, using a child's image to create sympathy and distract from rising public criticism. But Meghan wasn't the only one targeted.
Well, in this episode of Confessions of a Female Founder, which, by the way, is meant to be Hannah Mendoza telling her story of how she launched the bizarre business, because, by the way, Clever Blends, no chance. Clever Blends is like some sort of turmeric, it sounds really gross. It's something they drink in California, like some type of, weird health drink. But, of course, actually, Angela, Meghan makes it all about herself. And Hannah Mendoza just has to sit there and go along with it because Meghan's the one who's putting up the money. So the podcast kicks off, Angela, with Meghan boasting about Netflix and boasting about As Ever. Listen to this.
Business doesn't work unless people believe in you. Your team, your investors, your customers. So much of entrepreneurship is convincing people that your vision is worth their time and their money. And when I think about big milestones for my own business with As Ever, Netflix coming on as my business partner, huge. Just having a global powerhouse that believed in me and the site selling out in the first 45 minutes of launch, every single piece that we had been working on, that told me that customers, people believed in me and this vision. That's all you really want as a founder. That becomes your proof point that those late nights and the midnight musings are worth it.
Yes. So, Angela, I thought this was meant to be a podcast about Hannah Mendoza, but as you can tell, it's all about Meghan.
Yes. Well, she can't actually let anybody else say, but I know what they were very pleased. Meghan was very pleased about that this woman also had postpartum preeclampsia. And Meghan was very happy that they could talk about that. God help them. I mean, this is this awful thing that you can get after you've had a baby, and it's not very pleasant at all. But, she takes the stories to everybody again and again and again. And each time they're slightly different because it's all about her, and she forgets actually exactly what happened in reality. So she has to sort of change it a bit. But it's just, it's boring beyond anything you can think of, isn't it?
But then, Angela, the reason I set that up was because Mean Girl Meghan comes back, because Meghan's a real bully, right? And we know Meghan is a real bully. She's always been a real bully, but she's especially a real bully with the people who she works with. And there's this moment where she's talking to Hannah Mendoza and shames Hannah Mendoza. And we know what she's doing. I mean, look, I'll let everyone be the judge. You can listen for yourself. But she shames Hannah Mendoza for having worn Birkenstocks to this interview, to this first meeting. And Hannah Mendoza clearly feels very uncomfortable about it. And Meghan is really enjoying that discomfort. It just proves that she's always a mean girl. Listen to this.
And I remember when you came to the house, we were sitting outside, and I just remember you kept shifting your feet in and out of your Birkenstocks. And I thought, oh my gosh, is this my first investment? And you weren't really pitching me.
I didn't know how to pitch.
No, but also I wasn't asking for a pitch. I came to you. Do you remember I said to you, I was watching a lot of Shark Tank at the time. And I said, this is not Shark Tank. Think of this as Dolphin Tank.
Yes.
These are very friendly. These are very friendly waters. It's all going to be good.
I just have to say, you reminded me of the Birkenstock moment. My first thought was, what on earth was I thinking? I think I wore Birkenstocks and
a linen jumpsuit.
Thinking a linen jumpsuit in the morning and being like, well, this is the least wrinkled thing that I have. This is going to be very impressive. So you basically saw through the fact that I came to our first meeting practically barefoot and still believed that I could run a successful company.
By the way, I wear Birks at home. I think it's a really smart choice. There was no shame in your game. I was just struck by the fact that you were so comfortable in who you were. And yet at the same time, this was new for both of us. Mm-hmm. It was so new. Mm-hmm.
Angela Levin also aimed squarely at Prince Harry, calling him out for his blatant double standards. He attacks the press for invading privacy, but then does Netflix deals, book tours, and high-profile podcasts revealing intimate royal secrets. Levin said, Harry speaks about trauma and media intrusion, but he's monetizing his pain while exposing his family's private lives in the process. That's the definition of hypocrisy. And public trust, it's dropping like a stone. Even longtime Sussex supporters are questioning their motives. Is this parental pride or emotional propaganda? Let's know what you think. Was the Archie video innocent, or was it pure manipulation? Like this video if you agree the double standards have gone too far. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for more fearless royal truth.